Splice Original.
So when you look at spiritual development and maturity, so it's not either or. It's not pastor, I got pastor, but I'm not going to fool with people, or I'm fooling with people, but I'm not going to fool with the pastor. So it's both. You got to have both.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's pastor and people. God connects us to the body.
Now, I know a lot of people, Reverend Jackson, are unhappy in there, and I will call it job. They don't like going to work every day, and okay, if I could do something else different, I wish I had enough money. And folks want to hit the lottery, and they want to go to firekeep. They want to do all these things to get enough money to do what they want to do. A lot of people work a whole life in a job they don't like, then they retire so they can do what they want to. Your degree, undergraduate degree, was human resources. So
Yes,
you
sir.
actually thought you were going to work for some company managing the human resources. How did that shift? Because right now, it looks like the rest of your life, you're going to be in a pastoral ministry. And so what happened to cause that shift, and how did you know? Now, even though you went to school, you're degreed in that, you're credentialed in that, but now the lenders and the folk in the world will say, okay, this is quite a shift. You're human resources, and now you're pastoring. So how did that shift happen?
Well, Pastor Moore, it is phenomenal to see how we have our little plans that we think what we're going to do. But as we obey God, God then begins to make clear the path that he wants us to take. So as I was obeying God here at Mount Zion and Pastor Moore getting plugged into different ministries, I felt something then. I sensed God calling me to do something greater, and it was outside of the corporate world. And it amazes me, Pastor Moore, how God changed the trajectory of my life as I was obeying him. And as I obeyed God, God then began to make clear the path that he wanted me to take.
Now, wait a minute now you got to push that a little bit, because you just lost somebody. You're saying as you obey God, then God begins to make clear the direction of your life. So you need to get into that a little bit more, because somebody, and how that relates to Christian education, how that relates to being connected with a church and a ministry, because there's so many disgusted and disgruntled people with their lives. So you got to get into that a little bit.
So Pastor Moore, there are gifts, there are talents within individuals. They can only be awakened by the Creator. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10, for we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. So ultimately, God prepared for me to be on this earth. He knows what I'm good at, what I'm passionate about, and where he needs me to be. God, as I began to pastor, obey the teachings here, obey what you were saying in fulfillment hour, obey what you were saying in the Sunday worship experiences, obey what was being taught in fulfillment hour, God then began to direct my path. And so, Pastor, something fascinating happened.
What happened? What happened?
This could happen, Pastor.
What happened?
I didn't have to ask God for direction. As I obeyed God, he led me to where I needed to be.
So you wasn't somewhere praying like, God, please show me which way to go.
Right. I wasn't praying, Lord, I don't know what I'm passionate about. Lord, show me my next career path. No, it was the next natural progression, the next natural step. And I believe one of the most incredible things about being a believer and a Christian is the fact that God knows the plan for your life, not you. And as long as you submit, and when I say submit, obey him, depend on him, God will usher you into that plan that he has for your life. And I think oftentimes, Pastor Moore, individuals try to figure out the plan that God has already figured out and will be revealed as we obey.